Have you also been quite confused about these two little amphibians? Obviously, why won't you be when they look so alike? They both keep hopping and somewhat have same body configuration, which might leave you mistaken about their identities every time you see them. To make sure you don't fall in this pithole ever again, here are 6 very simple differences which can easily help you to find out the difference between the two. But for that, you need to stick till the end. Well, to start with, did you know that all toads are frogs whereas all frogs are not toads? But how? Let's find that out. A frog is any member of the order Anura, which consists of a diverse and mostly carnivorous group of short-bodied, tailless amphibians. The oldest fossil proto-frog, Tridobactrachus, is known for Madagascar's early Triassic. But molecular clock dating reveals their break from other amphibians may have occurred 265 million years ago. Frogs are found all throughout the world, from the tropics to the subarctic, although tropical rainforests have the highest concentration of species variety. Frogs account for around 88% of all amphibian species. They are also one of the 5 most diversified orders of vertebrates. Wary frog species are sometimes referred to as toads. However, the distinction between frogs and toads is arbitrary, and not based on taxonomy or evolutionary history. So let's begin with their number 1, outer appearance. The very basic clue to figure out the difference can be the texture of these jumping species. Frogs are sleek and smooth, but toads have a warty appearance and are covered with small lumps and bumps. Moreover, frogs are usually lean and slender in appearance, but toads shorter and stubbier than frogs. A frog's length is estimated to be between 6 and 9 centimeters, depending on the kind. Toads measure 10 to 13 centimeters in length, which is 5 to 6 inches, and 7 centimeters in width. Additionally, toads almost always have dry skin, but frogs appear moist even when they are not. Toads appear relatively squat and dumpy, but frogs are lean and athletic looking. Frogs and toads have distinct shaped faces, and toads have significantly broader noses than frogs do. Frogs are designed for hopping because of their large legs, which are longer than their head and body. On the other hand, toads have significantly shorter legs and favor moving around on their hands and knees. Unlike toads, frogs possess webbed feet to suit their semi-aquatic nature. Toads and frogs have different shaped noses also. The nose of a frog is fairly pointed, whereas a toad's nose is not. The shape of a toad's nose is substantially wider than a frog's. Frogs come in a variety of kinds, and while their skin can be any number of colors, muddy brown and leafy green are the most prominent. Toads are composed of 2 distinct colors, a grayish black and a yellowish gray belly. Frogs typically have more vivid coloring than toads, but sometimes the most vibrant colors can be deadly. Although toads have duller looking skin, eating toad skin can cause serious injury or even death to a person. Toads typically have fewer colors than frogs do. The South American poison dart frogs are among the frogs with the most vibrant colors. The unfortunate fact is that their amazing hues alert would-be predators to the fact that they are highly toxic. The stunning golden poison frog has between 10 and 20 grown men's worth of poison in its skin. However, eating or even handling the very appealing common toad without taking measures can be fatal due to its very venomous skin. Next, the differentiating factor is their number 2, location. There's a good likelihood that the frog you saw ambling through some grass or along a sidewalk is a toad. Because their skin is more waterproof than frogs, toads can survive in arid environments considerably better and are mostly found in terrestrial habitat. It is known that toads visit both breeding and non-breeding areas of ponds and lakes. In order to avoid losing moisture too quickly, frogs are rarely observed too far from water, which explains why they constantly appear damp. Although toads thrive in muddy environments, best they can also survive in ponds and lagoons where they can burrow into the ground to shelter themselves from dryness. During the dry and drought seasons, this is especially crucial. Number 3, laying eggs. One of the similarities between frogs and toads is that both species require a body of water or a moist area to reproduce and lay their eggs. However, frog and toad eggs can be distinguished from one another because toad eggs are produced in long ribbons that can occasionally tangle in aquatic plants, whilst frog eggs are laid in clumps in the water. In other words, frogs cluster their egg-laying whereas toads produce long chains of eggs. The young frogs and toads are known as tadpoles when they initially hatch. Frog and toad tadpoles look different from one another. The tadpoles of toads are bulky and black, while the tadpoles of frogs are thinner and golden in appearance. Frog eggs are called frog spawn, while toad eggs are called toad spawn. Tadpoles from toads are entirely black, whereas those from frogs have gold flecks all over their skin. Number 4, lifespan. frogs can live up to 16 years, while the oldest have been observed to survive up to 21 years. A common toad by the name bufo has astonishingly lived up to 40 years, despite having a lifespan of about 10 to 15 years. Frogs live in the wild for 2 to 10 years on average. This number fluctuates widely depending on the species and whether the frog was raised in captivity or not. Domesticated tree frogs, for example, can live for up to 20 years, while toads can live for twice as long. Frogs and toads are similar in many aspects. Toads are larger, have rougher skin, and may be venomous, distinguishing them from frogs. Furthermore, depending on the species, size, and location, it appears that many toads outlive frogs. Frogs and toads are both amphibious. However, toads can go farther away from water and only live in water to reproduce. Frogs want to remain submerged at all times. The Mound Island frog, nicknamed Wellington by researchers, also has 2 other geriatric friends, a male Gollum, 35, and a female Xena, 34. According to Victoria University Associate Professor Ben Bell, he can think of any other frog species anywhere that lives over the age of 30. He has been tracking 3 frogs on Mound Island for 25 years. The tiny frogs, just 5 centimeters long, stay within just a few square meters of their habitat their whole lives. This may have been a factor for their longevity, as per Bell. He says they're ambush hunters. They just sit there waiting for something to come along, so they don't expend much energy, as per his observations. A favorite snack is spiders. Researchers from University of York believe they have discovered the world's oldest wild common toad in a garden of Hull. Common toads are estimated to survive up to 12 years in the wild, but Georgie, a toad, has been living in a yard in Hull's Great Field district for almost 38 years and is thought to be at least 40 years old. Georgie was discovered by York scientists during the Hull Garden Survey, Slime and Spine 2009, an initiative organized by Open Air Laboratories, OPAL, to inspire people to reconnect with nature. Sal Hobbs, an OPAL community scientist at the University of York, recently checked in on Georgie's progress following its winter slumber and was thrilled to learn that. Number 5. Toxicity. Some frogs are extremely deadly. The deadliest are golden poison frogs, which may kill 10 men. Cane toads are comparatively less poisonous because their poison at max is lethal to cats and dogs. Frogs of several species can be extremely toxic. Ectodermal glands are located in a certain layer of frog skin all over the body. These glands occasionally release poison. Although the venom gland doesn't always function through contact, it typically does so when a threat is perceived. The golden poison frog is one of the most toxic animals on the planet. A single 2-inch specimen contains enough venom to kill 10 mature men. For ages, the indigenous Embera people of Colombia have utilized its potent venom to tip their blowgun darts when hunting, hence the species name. These vividly colored amphibians, which average more than 1 inch in length, are among the largest of more than 100 poison dart frog species. They dwell in a little patch of rainforest on Colombia's Pacific coast. Despite the fact that the population in its short range is numerous, extensive deforestation of the rainforest has placed this species on international endangered lists. Their coloration, which can range from yellow to orange to pale green. The cause of this frog's incredible toxicity is unknown, but it is probable that they digest plant toxins carried by their prey. Poison dart frogs grown in captivity and separated from insects in their natural environment do not develop venom. Toxins from the golden poison frog have been studied in the medical world for potential medicinal applications. They have already created a synthetic version of one of the poison's components, which has the potential to be a powerful painkiller. The Panamanian golden frog, commonly known as the Campana stubfoot lode and other names, is an endemic toad to Panama. Panamanian golden frogs live in streams along the steep slopes of west-central Panama's Cordilleran cloud forests. While it is listed as highly endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, it may have gone extinct in the wild since 2007. Individuals have been captured for captive breeding in an effort to save the species. Both the common name Zectex golden frog and the epithet Zetetic honor the entomologist James Zetek. By now, you would definitely have an idea as to how to distinguish them. Please let us know in the comment section below if you have also been confused between toad and frogs ever before.